consistent actually. And how were the exams, Rupesh? The first semester, how you people did?
Absolutely good, but first paper ही मेरा कुछ upload
Oh,
करने में कुछ गड़बड़ हुआ. I don't know
don't
क्या
tell
होगा
me
लेकिन.
that कि first paper only. I'm asking about the first paper. First paper, how was
Divya,
it?
नहीं,
What was the
Divya
problem?
Singh,
paper was
Divya
good.
Singh is the new one.
Hmm. Divya, yeah.
Divya Singh, are you getting?
Hi,
Sir.
Divya.
Yeah, hi,
Yeah,
hi,
Divya.
ma'am.
For the little you can switch on your video and then you can go for the relax mode, Divya.
Right. Madam, here I will make you host
Yeah.
and
So, Divya, you're from which chapter?
Delhi
you
chapter,
can.
ma'am.
Delhi chapter. Okay. So, you have not attended. Delhi chapter has conducted the first classes, I believe.
I did, ma'am. I have attended all
Acha
the.
ji, you have also attended. Okay. Okay. You're not on
Thank
checking, na? How the Noida chapter is doing? We are
Hey,
adjusting to
most,
Delhi
No,
chapter.
no. I've been
I think
attending all
Divya,
the.
let us welcome.
it, it was on the lighter note, Divya. Okay.
You
So, yeah,
attended,
first,
No problem.
Divya, you attended last class?
yeah, first Delhi chapter, she said.
First Delhi, last
Yes,
week.
sir.
Okay. So you can attend, I think, this paper 8. Now I hand over, I made Simaji host. Now I can go off and then please, madam, you can continue.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
Okay. But now share screen. Should it? Share करो. Stop करो. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you hear now? Can you see the slides?
Yes. Slide.
Okay. So this is semester 2, paper 8, managing the training process. So this is the paper I'll be taking today. So what topic we are going to cover? Where is it? It's not moving. So you can see the topics we'll be covering in the 7 sessions is the managing the training process. First session, today's session will be managing the training process. Second session, preparation of the training plan and the training budget. Then the third will be resource planning, then selection of trainer, faculty or consultant, then marketing of training, and the event management. And the seventh session, as you all know, it will be the course to review actually. Okay, so managing the training process. So as you all know, that will be starting with the topic with introduction the topic. In fact, okay, managing the training process. To manage any process, first we need to have the fair enough idea of the each and every step of that process. So if we want to have managed the training process effectively and efficiently, we should have the fair enough idea of the each and every step of the training development process. Who can tell me what are the training and development process which we are following it out? Because managing the training process, we should have the idea of each and every step, each of every phase of the training process, development process actually. How to start, because this semester 2 is going on. Semester 1, in the paper 1 also we have discussed enough about what is training, what is the importance of the training, significance of the training, scope of the training, need of the training, and that we have established by the semester 1 actually. The training is needed actually by each and every organization. Every organization should provide the training irrespective of the qualification and experience of their employees. If they want to thrive in the market, if they want to outplay their competitive in the market, if they want to overcome their weaknesses, if they want to grab the opportunity, if they want to handle the threats, whatever into the external environment. So they need to training is needed for that. So managing the training process, when we talk about actually, so first you should have the idea of what are the training steps, what are the training process for the effective training, which processes, which steps we are following it out. So how to start and where to end and how to end. This is the most important, and in between what the steps are coming. So most commonly we are using one model. Which model is that? Who can tell me?
AD
Which
model.
model is that?
AD model.
Very rightly said. So you can see it out, because the semester 1, the session 2 was for that. The Vingamada Burma would have made you understand this model. So AD model is the one model which is very commonly used for the training and development process, which gives you the clear roadmap about how to start the training development process and how to end it and where to end it out actually. So you can see AD model. So do you really think we start, this is the first step in this model is the need analysis phase actually. This is the analysis phase. We're analyzing the training need of the organizations. So
Just
is
give
this
me
the
one
first?
thing.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah. You were saying something to me. I thought you were talking to me.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, it's okay. Sure, okay. Is it the okay? So what we were talking about AD model actually. AD, this is the model actually commonly used model which gives you the clear roadmap. In the first session, strategic planning roadmap, we had already talked about. When for the success of the organization made the strategic planning, and what the roadmap we are following into that, from vision to goal, goal to plan to action, and action to success. And that way only when we are developing and training and development program actually, so we need to follow a clear roadmap, and this is AD model is the most commonly used training model, which you gives you the streamlined focused approach for development of any training process actually. But when we talk about the training need analysis, this is the first phase actually. This is the first step in training development. This is the step actually which provides you with enough information to start with the training design model, which is the next. What is the beauty of this model? Who can tell me what is the beauty of this model actually? Who can tell me what is the beauty of this model? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, this is summer is going on. You all must be feeling sleepy, I know. To
No,
keep
no, ma'am.
interacting so that I should also not feel sleepy.
No, ma'am. Not like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, please tell me. What is the beauty of this model actually? How is providing you the clear roadmap actually? Anybody can explain me? Because you have done in so depth into the semester 1 actually. And the semester 2 is going on, so you should have the overall idea of the concept clarity actually, how we are designing the training, being training professional, being training consultant, we should have the fair enough idea how we are starting, how we are ending, where we are ending, and each step, what is the objective of the each step actually. What is the beauty of this model actually? Each step's output becomes the input for the next step.
It's a right. It is in a right sequence actually.
Exactly.
Because
Sequencing is so proper because
Yeah.
sequencing is proper. That's why that is the reason it is giving you the clear roadmap.
right.
The first phase, analysis phase, output. What is the output of the analysis phase? Who can tell me? What is the output of the training need assessment phase?
What are the training to be provided?
Objectives. It clarifies the objectives.
Objective.
Learning objectives. Exactly. This is the output, and this becomes the input for the design phase. Exactly. That's what I'm making you understand. Designing phase output becomes the input for the development phase.
Development.
Development phase output becomes the input for the implementation phase,
Implement.
and implementation phase output becomes the input for the evaluation phase.
Evaluation.
That's why it is giving you the very streamlined and focused approach. Actually, it's a very, very simple and the commonly used model. That's why actually first step, if I'll be coming, because we are talking about the managing the training and development process, so you need to have the little clarity of all the phases actually. So first phase, what we are doing actually, first phase training need analysis at a which, how many level we are doing? Who can tell me?
Three levels.
3 level. Yeah. Tell me, what are those
Oh,
levels?
First one is organization level.
Very right.
Second is position level. I mean that task level.
In individual level, and
Individual
third is the
level.
job level. Exactly. Training need analysis is done at the 3 level. First is the organization level, which we are talking about actually. Organization level, what we are doing. So first step, sorry, step 1, what you need to do first. Step 1, whenever you should have the clarity ki how we are starting with the effective training program actually. When we are starting the effective, because effective training is not an isolated event in an organization. Training, if you want training to be success, then it should be aligned with the what?
Objective of the organization.
It should be
Vision,
aligned
mission.
with the strategic plan of the organization.
Plan.
The bigger picture, you need to see it out first actually.
Right.
What should be the first step? Training need analysis is done at the organization level first, because we need to identify the gap between the expected organization performance and the actual organization performance. So EOP
Right.
minus AOP becomes the OZP equals to is OZP. Organization performance gap we are identifying at the organization level. And for that, what you need to do, first you need to understand your organization. You need to identify the vision, mission, vision, and the values of your organization. Getting it out?
Right.
So, oh, sorry. So identify mission, vision. You must be having the clarity in the strategic planning. All these components we have discussed in so much depth. Mission, what is the mission? What is the mission? You need to recall now. Semester 2 is going on. Mission, what is mission? What is vision?
What the organization wants to do?
Why the company is in business?
Why the company?
Why the organization? This is the driving force actually. Mission is the driving force. Vision is the purpose of doing the business. This is the aspiration for the company, where they what they want to achieve it out. And when we talk about the values, what do you mean? We have discussed mission, vision, then goal, then objective, then initiative, then measures, and then targets. These are the complete component of the strategic planning. And if you want your training to be success, then we need to align the training along with the strategic plan of the organization. And training must be strategic, and that is the reason actually when we are designing the training, we design the training to improve the knowledge, skill, and abilities of the employees to help them achieve the organization strategic goal. Effective training cannot be designed until we first understand the organization. And understanding the organization means understanding the mission, vision, and the core values of the organizations. Mission, vision, we have understood, but little I because the first session also we have not discussed about the values actually, and is a very important part to understand it out. What do we mean by the core values? Why it's so important to understand? Who can tell me? We need to inculcate values into the employees of the organization while training. It is a very, very important actually to understand the being trainer, being training professionals, being training consultant. We need to understand what is the core values of the organization apart from the mission, vision, and the goal. What do we mean by this? Who can tell? No one?
Organization level.
Values, core value of the organization. Why it is so important?
Because
this
ma'am, I
is-
believe
yes.
core values are important because all the policies, procedure of the organization is then based on those values itself.
That's what I'm saying. What do you mean by the value actually?
Well, it defines the path the company chooses how to achieve the objective.
Yes, anybody else? Anybody else can tell?
Yeah, ma'am, individual level actually value is defined like how much time we devote that.
I'm not
that
talking
thing.
about right now the individual level. I'm talking about the core value of
Core
the
values.
organization. Yeah, being training consultant, being training professional, being HR professional, we need to understand the core values of the organization apart from the vision, mission, and the goal and objective of the organizations. So what is it? Core value. That's what I'm asking you. What is it?
Maybe it's a corporate behavior on which, I mean, it's a foundation for.
Yeah, because let me come out actually. Because what is the meaning of the values actually?
The
Principle.
way the
Yeah, the
organization,
standard of behavior. Yeah, come on.
the way the organization would do things. What is their if I will give you an example. I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Suppose it's a customer friendly, and you believe customer is the king. Sort of give more importance to the customer. Then the people also should be aligned with those values, and they should also treat. So unless the people down the line also believe in those values, that will not be reflect. Otherwise, that will not come. It will just remain on paper. So that is why the values need to be set. So the values of the organization and the values of the employees need to be aligned so that the mission and the vision of the organization are met.
Exactly. The core values. Why? Because the building the strong business starts with the building of the company culture, which reflect the core values of the organizations. Okay, how? Because it is said that a business without value isn't really a business. Because on what principles the company want to does the business, what a standard of behavior they are expecting from the employees of the organizations, how they will be taking the decision making power to strengthen their decision making power, to understand what is the important in their life, what is do's and don't of the life, what is right and wrong actually. So unethical means. So when we talk about the core values, actually having the clear company values help you ensure that all your employees are working towards the same goal. Your core values support the company's vision and shape the culture. And that's why every single business should be aligned with the values or with the core values of the organization. So as I said you, because this is the impact, because your core value shape your culture and impact your business. And that is the reason Kiki, when we are working as a training consultant, apart from the mission and vision, we need to inculcate the values into the employees. Actually they need to possess the right attitude and right behavior. Okay, because how can you build a great team and deliver an excellent customer service or foster the innovations if you haven't define and share the core values of your organization to your employees? Without defining and sharing the core values of your organization to your employees, you cannot build a great team, you cannot deliver an excellent customer services, you cannot foster the innovation. Because core values actually it gives provides the purpose of doing what they are doing. It improves the team cohesion, it creates the commitment into the employees at the workplace. Core values are actually giving you the opportunity to attract the right talent. Whenever you are searching the job, whenever employees are searching the job, they first look at what is the culture of the organization. So as I said, building the strong business starts with the building the company's culture, and that reflects the core values of the organizations. So for hiring the right talent, you need to identify the company values, what company is standing for. Okay, what principles company want to does the business, on what standard of behavior they are expecting from their employees. And once you are hiring the right candidate, right talent, then to train them is very easy. Okay, so core values is very important. The first step I was talking when we are managing the training is training and development process. The first step, you should understand your organization. And what is the meaning of understanding the organization is understand the mission, vision, and the values of the organization. Then you need to conduct, because effective training cannot be designed until we first understand the organization. And this is done by conducting a SWOT analysis. We had discussed it into the last also in the strategic planning. Conduct a SWOT analysis. You need to conduct the SWOT analysis, and through the SWOT analysis, what we are determining, we're determining the strength, weakness, and
Weakness,
opportunity,
opportunity, and
and the
threats.
threats of the organization. And this is helping. These informations helps you. Strength needs to be strengthened. For what? For strengthening the strengths, what trainings is required. To overcome the weaknesses, what training is required. To grab the opportunity available externally, what training is required. And to handle the threats and to meet the challenges of the organization or the individual level, what training is required. So these are the with these informations and understanding of the organization mission, vision, and value, effective training creates a competitive advantage for the organizations. Getting you connection?
Yes,
Okay, so
yes,
first step before starting the training need analysis, what I'm saying, first step you need to, because the total step up right now we'll be discussing it about. So first step is the understanding the organization, mission, vision, values of the organization, then conduct the SWOT analysis and analyze the, determine the strength, weakness, opportunity, and the threats of the organization. Discuss about the strength, weakness, and opportunity and threat of the organizations, because it provides you the competitive advantage to the organizations. Okay, and after completing the SWOT analysis, a training need assessment is conducted to identify the gaps between the employee actual performance and the desired performance. So first, we are doing the training need analysis at the organization level. We are identifying the gap between the expected organization performance and the actual
actually.
organization performance, and then we are deciding which kind of training. If we are identifying the training need at the organization level, which is known as organizational analysis. Okay, so what type of training is required? Who can tell me? When we are identifying, being training professional, when we are identifying the training need at the organization level, what type of training is required? For managing the training process, you need to understand this clarity. Key training need is done at the 3 level, and at which
Uh,
level, what we are identifying, and what type of training is required. Yes, somebody's
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually, at organizational level, we must think about the organizational goal. And for meeting the organizational goal, apart from the technical training required, the more of a means that motivation, or where that employee is lacking like motivation, or say employee behavior. This behavioral training, rather, we can say that at this point of time, to for this organization's sake, it is more important.
Is it really needed?
It is
Only
really
behavioral
needed.
type?
No, not only
Only
behavioral, I'm telling.
that's what I'm saying.
Why? Because you are telling that at organizational organization base, you are asking, na? So that I'm telling, because there are
Yeah, very
three
true.
boards. On one
Yeah,
is organization, and the other two is there. So in the other
individual
two, we
level
can identify individual level, that is
and the job
individual
level.
job
Yeah,
level.
very
So
much
job,
clarity. You need to
yes,
understand that training need analysis, which is the first step of the AD model. So we are
yes, ma'am.
conducting at the 3 level, at the
Yes,
organization
ma'am.
level, at the individual level, at the job level. At
Yes,
the
ma'am.
organization level, we are identifying the organizational performance gap.
Yes,
Why?
ma'am.
So that is
Uh,
the formula, EOP minus AOP is equals to OGP. So
yes.
expected organization performance minus actual organization performance and equals to is the organization performance gap. So when we are
Yes, ma'am.
identifying the gap at the organization level, then the types of training required, that's what I was saying. Okay, what is the hurdle? Because when
Uh,
we are identifying the training need at the organization level, then what we are identifying is the why the set organization goal. is
Ah.
not getting achieved? What
Yes,
is the
sir.
hurdles in achieving that strategic goal? So
Mm.
types of training conducted at organization level is organization development, OD.
Yeah. Yes, OD.
Why the company is working on organization development, you need to understand, because in the first semester also we have discussed already in the first paper, organization development, under the organization development we are working for the first level and the second order of the changes. Organization development is all about the
Yes,
organization
ma'am.
change.
In this level, like in the first step, you have told that the vision, mission, and values of the organization has to be discussed. So, in the organization
Exactly.
level, each and every employee has to understand what is the mission, vision, and values of the SME. And there
Very
is the
true.
gap where we identify, and that is the training required at this level. And then
Exactly.
individual level can be the behavioral training, like the individual behavior with the
You can
co-employees.
decide, you can go ahead. You can
And
go
then the
ahead, what are the
technical,
types?
yes, and
Yes.
the technical training is required when the other other
That
is,
hold for that only.
yes, yes,
That's what I'm saying. When the OD, we are working on the organization development, then first we are we're working on the first order of the changes, which is for about the performance, which is the performance organization, performance gap, we are filling it up with that. But the second order of changes required, which is going on at the pandemic time, most of the companies are going through the second order of changes. Order of changes requires the reinvent your business, redesign your business model, rewrite your organization strategy. So innovation is at the knife point at the pandemic time, during any adversity actually. So organization, or in the second order of changes, we need to totally reinvent our business, we need to redesign our business model, we need to rewrite our strategic planning actually, because it's not working. So we need to, overall business changes is required actually. We can go for the companies are going for the MDP also at the organization level. When we are finding we're identifying the training need, management development programs is, that's why they're conducted at that, getting it out for the managers and the line managers actually, because if they are unstable, they are sitting on the decision making seat, so they need to be, yeah. So MDP is also conducted at the organization level when we are identifying the training need actually. Then we can go for the coaching, counseling, mentoring, as you're saying. So depends upon actually what type of changes, if any technological advancement overall is required, getting it, because in the pandemic time, because of everything become online right now, everything has become online. So technological advancement over all the organization is required. So this is at the organization level. Then when we come at the individual level, so individual level, what we are identifying, who needs the training and on which topic he requires the training. So individual level we are identifying, and through which, how we are getting these individuals data, who requiring the training into the
it can, the line managers or the
Appraisal,
managers.
yes,
performance appraisal
appraisal
thing.
data, appraisal
Appraisal
data, the
data,
PMS system actually, competency
Yeah.
and the,
mapping we are doing, and
yes,
observation of the HOD and the
uh,
line managers, getting it
Supervisors.
or
360 degree
feedback
that feedback is actually very important at this place.
at the,
Why?
or
Because
every
yes,
appraisal
uh,
is conducted on the 360 degree actually. The
yes,
right now all the
uh,
professional companies conducting the appraisal through the
360
360
degree.
degree model
That
actually.
if
And
the
in the
360
bigger company,
degrees,
so yeah,
uh,
bigger company, they have gone for the 720 also. So but that depends upon because that this is a minimum 15 to 16 employee feedback we are taking in 360 degree for the each employee, one employee. So if the strength of the company is bigger, actually size of the company big, we can go for the 720 degree also. In that 30 to 40 employees, we are taking the feedback for the one employee. So that depends, because the system is based on, we are bringing the transparency, because we employee dissatisfaction we cannot spread. That's why we are adapting these methodology actually for the appraisal system. So 360 degree is advisable everywhere right now. Okay, overall we should not stick to the feedback from the one genre, nor for the upline, upside, upwards, downwards, sideward, every, and the self appraisal also.
means
We
even
should
the
take the employees also feedback.
even the
Yes,
co-employees who are working with that employee,
peers,
the
that's what I'm saying.
managers, everyone. That is what 360 degree is very important to take a feedback in
Exactly,
the
your
individual level.
superiors, your superiors, and who
Superiors,
are working under your
peer groups,
subordinates, your peers,
the
and the
yeah.
self appraisal.
Self-appraisal also. Yeah.
That is empowering the 360-degree appraisal system. Actually, we are new to the HR people, so we understand the because this is bringing you the transparency actually. Okay, so moving, I'm not going to in the depth for the appraisal system because managing the otherwise time will be. So you are understanding, you're having the clarity right now. What I'm saying, the first step for managing the training process effectively and efficiently, first we need to understand the organization. This is my point. First, you need to do the training need analysis at the organization level, and then you need to decide what are the strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats for the organization, and then accordingly you need to design the training program. Okay, individual level, through the performance appraisal and through the PMS system and appraisal system, we are getting the data who requires the training on which topic they should be requiring the training, that is decided. And the type of training conducted at the individual level can be the decision making, the improvement into the decision making power, the interpersonal relationship skill training, then the time management, finance management. These are the training at the individual level. We can go ahead, in fact, the soft skills training which is required by the everyone. Okay, and the third level is the job level, job analysis. Job analysis is done, which is known as job analysis. So organizational analysis, individual analysis, and the third, at the job level, we are identifying the training need, which is known as job analysis. What is the formula of the job analysis? Who can tell me? What is the formula of the job analysis? How are we identifying the gap?
The actual perform the required performance by the actual performance minus actual performance.
So
If
that is at that is
that
at
is
the
the
individual level.
uh,
Individual
that
level,
gap,
that's what we're doing in appraisal system actually. We are identifying the gap between the
the
desired
yes,
in the
any
performance.
technical innovation is done, suppose in a company, at
Hmm.
that point of time any training is required for an individual. So
Have
that
you heard about the JD and JS? Job description and the job specification?
yes ma'am, job description is
Job
there.
analysis is equals to JD minus JS. We
Okay,
are
job description.
describing the job, the task, the role, the responsibility,
Mm.
getting it out. And then job specification is about the real specification of the
Oh, the job.
individual who is going to perform that job, who is
Yeah.
going to hold that job, who is going to perform that task and duties and roles. So if there is any problem at that level,
Mm.
then the training is designed at the job level. Okay, maybe if they in describing the job, if there's a problem, or if the job description we have described and we have hired a individual who is not able to perform that job, then the training is required. So this is the three level. We are identifying the needs, we are identifying the gap, and then we are deciding what type of training is required, and this is providing you the roadmap. And once, what I'm going to tell you right now, because there are training, because as we tell that the training first step in training development is the training need assessment, which provides you enough information to start the design phase. And in order to identify the clear purpose for the training, we need to start with why questions. That why is training needed, why new situation or the change has brought about the need of the training, why skills, knowledge, and the competency are currently missing or inadequate, and if any problem, the problem which has arisen in the organization, can training, can be the solved or resolved by the training course. So these are the why questions which you need to ask at this level, and then you need to decide, because the training need assessment is basically the assessment about what skill, knowledge, attitude, and competency is necessary for an organization or the group of the people to be able to answer to their challenges, whatever challenges they are facing it. Okay, so how to, when we're talking methodology, I'll be not going because we have already talking through what, how we are doing the training need analysis. So is the, we can go for the performance appraisal system, PMS, competency mapping. Then the ESS is carried, employee satisfaction survey is also carried into the organization to identify the needs of the training, in fact. Then the observations of the HOD and the line managers, then feedback of the customer and the clientele. This is also the way. So through the questionnaires, through the observations, through the interviews, through the focus group, these are the methodology which are used at the TNA. So a one more thing, because as I told you, at the 3 level, the training, the need analysis is done. So what is happening actually, TNA reveals gaps and needs in many different areas. So now we need to prioritize it. Prioritization is again is the very important thing which we should not the overlook actually, because when we are conducting the TNA, so we are conducting the TNA at the 3 level. So TNA is identifying the gaps and needs in many different areas actually, and therefore you might need to define and the priorities regarding these needs, and then make a decision on the topic or issues you will address in your training. So from TNA, we are deciding which training topic or which issues we need to address in a training program. And from selecting the training and from the selected topic, you can start defining the, what we can start defining from the selected topic, learning objectives. These are the connection for managing the training process. You need to understand the link actually. Okay, when we are doing the TNA, so we are getting the prioritizing the needs and the gaps, and then we are deciding which topic or which issues we need to address in our training program. So we are selecting the topic from here, and after the selection of the topic, we start writing or we start defining the learning objectives of the training program actually. So learning objective kya hai? Learning objective is basically what we would like to accomplish at the end of the course. Getting it out at the end of the training program. Learning objective is actually, which is why we usually say actually that while designing the training course, we should keep the end in the mind. Getting it out? Learning objective, who can tell me what is learning objective?
Yes.
What do you understand by the learning objective? This is the outcome of the first step.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the case is what we need to identify that what training has to be given. If that whether on that cases only we'll be giving that training. So if after the completion of the training, whether the knowledge, skills, or the attitude of the employee, whether it is changed or not, that we have to look in. And for that only we have to design the training, and that will be the learning objective for that employee. So at what area actually that training is required in knowledge, skills, or attitude. That
So
is my understanding.
area we have already decided into the while training, the data we have collected from the TNA. Getting it out? So learning objective to training topic, we are deciding from those data actually. Then we need to define the learning objective. Learning objective, as I said, the learning objective describe what the participant should specifically be able to do, know, or feel differently about as a result of the training. Getting it out? So before you can start writing the course program or the materials, you must clearly define what it is that participants needs to take away with them at the end of the training. So learning objective is providing you the roadmap for the further steps actually. This is the end result, what we need to achieve at the end of the training, what a participant should take away from the training program, and what the participant specifically should do, know, or feel differently as a result of the training program. That is the learning objective all about. And the one common mistake many trainers, even the experienced one, does it actually, they make the mistake of developing a training course based on the content they think need to be included in a specific course. But this is, however, this has the potential to distract from the result we want the training course to achieve. So this is distracting. So what is suggested, what mistake you should need not to do? Who can tell me what mistake we should not do? So training need to first establish the learning objectives, and only then think of what need to be included in a training program. Okay, so writing the learning objectives, it should be the, you should use the SMART criteria actually. You're understanding it out. So this is because this is the step which will be giving you the roadmap to all these steps actually. So that's why in the depth I am discussing the TNA impact. So team making sentence, because when writing the learning objective, then you need to use the SMART criteria. What do you mean by the SMART? We all know the acronym of the SMART. S for specific, but for the
Specific.
training development, but what we need to describe into the training development process, what do we mean by the specific word? What exactly will the participants learn? Okay, what specifically the participant need to learn, that is decided. So smart learning objective should be there. M for measurable.
Measurable.
Smart, measurable. That means how will you know if they have learned it or not? Okay, so we need to have the measurement assessment tool for that during the course and the after the end of the course. Achievable, A for achievable. So can you achieve the learning with the target group in the time available or the time decided? Getting it out? Then R for relevant. Is the topic relevant for the target group which we have picked up? Okay, for whom we are going to conduct the training, is the training topic is relevant for that target group? And then T for time, as you know, by the end of the training participant, what the by the end of this timing training program, what learning outcomes should be there, what should be the takeaway for the organization. So this is the skeleton actually which you should follow while writing the learning objectives. It should be smart actually. So once this output is there, then we are following to the next. So now I'll be going to the total topic for the managing the training process. Now we'll be discussing. So number one, we have discussed the second. You can see number one was the analyze an organization by conducting a SWOT analysis. Then second step is conduct a need assessment to
Yes.
determine the training needs of the organization, training needs of the individual, and training need at the job level. Okay. Third step, use the AD method of instructional design to design the training that meets the organization's strategic goal. Always, if you want to training to be success, then we need to align the training. We have discussed into the training strategy when I was teaching you at the first paper also. The training strategy, what do you mean by the training strategy? That we need to align the training along with the business strategy of the company, with the organizational strategic goal of the organization. So it is very important, because if you are not linking, then the total organization, total training program will go waste. Whatever effort we have done, if we are not linking the training with the strategic goal of the organization, that is, it will be the sheer waste actually. So in that case only, training becomes what? Expenses, not the investment. Okay, only we are deriving the fetching out the money for the management, but it is not fulfilling the purpose of the company. It will not fulfill, it will be linking, it will not be linking the training with the strategic goals of the company. So this is very, very important to be understand, being the training consultant or training professionals actually. Once the designing part is gone, so next step, is the developing phase. So developing phase AD model, as we decided, analysis, designing, and then developing. So develop the learning activities that incorporate adult learning principles and methods of experiential learning. So in the first semester, you have studied in depth the training methodology, cognitive and experiential. Okay. So at the developing phase, what we need to develop, we are developing the instructional plan. We are developing the training plan and the training budget, which in the length, in the depth, we'll be discussing. I'll be discussing into the session 2 actually. That is the part of the preparation of the training plan and the training budget, which is this is the very important part, because we are developing the instruction plan at the developing phase. So whatever output we are getting for the designing phase actually, so as per that we are developing the training plan, we are developing the content of the training, we are developing the material of the training, we are developing the assessment process of the trainees. So these are the things we are doing at the development phase. And for developing the learning activities actually, we need to incorporate first the pedagogical principles of the adult learning, how the adult learns. That is the most important part at the developing stage. You need to decide by through which principles, learning principles, you will be providing the training, what learning theories, what learning styles will be adapting. So being trainer, these are the very important thing which you need to decide at this phase, actually at the developing phase. In fact, you need to decide. Okay, from the designing, you need to develop all these things. In fact, on the principle, when we're talking about the pedagogical principles of the adult learning, who can tell me what are the principles on with on which we need to base our training actually? Who can tell me the pedagogical principles of the
Principles, ma'am, actually adult want to learn, must want to learn, but only when they feel that they need to learn.
But they are differently. That's why you need to understand the pedagogy and the how the andragogy is differing actually, because in the training we are training to the adults, and adults are having the what previous experiences with the pre-notion.
Experiences. Yeah.
With the pre-notion they used to come actually.
Uh,
So what you need to do at
we
the
need
phase,
to unlearn and then learn.
you need to online, but which principle, which training professional I'm asking, on basis of which principles you need to design your training program, you need to develop your training program actually. So what are the principles actually? In the depth I'll be talking in the next session also, but I need to give you the fair and enough idea of the and pedagogy principles of the adult learning. First is the experiential learning, second
Right.
is the accelerated learning, third is the active learning, fourth is the honey and the mumford learning styles, and then the whole brain technique. So these are the principles actually we you need to understand in the depth actually. These the principles how the adult learn, and which principles on which we will be most appropriate for the audience you are going to give the training actually. Okay, so after that, fifth step, developing a training budget. As I had told you, this is the part of the instructional plan, and then the training budget we are deciding what should be the budget of the training. Then implementation part. So now once we have done the analyze the training need, we have designed the training, designing have been done, we have developed the activity content and the material, then the phase is coming of the conducting the training, implementation of the training. And in this process actually, paper 8 is all about the managing the implementation of the training program. So paper 8 will be focusing on implementation phase actually. Okay, so you need to see the implementation phase when we talk about. So these are the steps. Implementation, after implementation, what we are doing, we are completing, we need to complete the training process first, and then I'll be coming to the implementation, back to implementation phase. So after the implementation of the training, what we are doing?
Evaluation.
Evaluation. What is that phase? We'll be discussing in implementation actually, because this is the implementation phase. Output will be the input of the evaluation phase, and the
In that,
output of the development phase, output will be the input of the implementation phase. So in this paper actually, paper 8 will be discussing about these three phases actually. In length, two phases, development phase and the implementation phase. But the little will be touching, because this is the output, evaluation is the output of the implementation phase. So little will be touching to the evaluation phase also, because the training evaluation we have discussed in length in semester 1, you all might have done. Into the paper 1 also we have discussed about the training evaluation, but I'll be touching it out when we'll be discussing implementation phase actually. So when evaluation is done, then what we are analyzing the organization's return on investment. We are doing the cost benefit analysis of the training for the complete training program. So this is the complete, what is it? It's clear roadmap, how to, from where to start and where to end and how to end. So for managing the training process, you need to have the clarity, first understanding of the organization, and then move ahead with the AD model. Training need assessment, then training designing, then developing phase, then the implementation phase, and then the evaluation phase actually. But as I said in the paper 8, the focus will be on the which implementation of the training. How to manage the implementation of the training actually. When we talk about the implementation phase actually, you know okay, this is the phase, implementation phase is where the training program comes in live. This is the phase where we are going to conduct the training, where we are going to deliver the training. And you know, the best possible training design also comes to failure if the training is not implemented effectively and if the training is not delivered skillfully. Getting it out? So what is the significance of the managing the implementation of training process? You need to understand by that. Even the best possible training design comes to failure if we are not effectively implementing the training and if we are not delivering the training skillfully. So a skillful delivery and the effective implementation of training is very, very important part. So when we talk about the managing the implementation process, so you can see it out. To managing the implementation of the training, to managing the conduct of the training, to deliver the training, what logistic arrangements are required, what facilities, what equipments, what physical arrangements are required. That is the part of this paper 8 we will be discussing in the logistical arrangements, then the physical arrangements, and then you can see dry run and the pilot run. So what are the process we are following for implementation of the effective training program? That will be discussing it out. And then training policies, how we are taking the commitment of the top management as well as the employee of the organization. For that we are developing the training policies. Actually, we are making the training policies. So these things now from here we'll be discussing it out. So far the logistical arrangements and the physical arrangements is required. So that in depth I'll be discussing in the third session. Actually, it is a resource planning session. So resource planning will be going into the depth to what physical arrangement will be requiring, what logistical arrangement will be requiring. But when we coming to the process, will definitely I'll be showing you the flow chart of the implementation process. You can see it out, which is a very important implementation of the training process. What is the input, what is the process, what is the output? So as I had told, input you can see program development plan, instructional equipments, training and trainers manuals, facilities, trainer. These are the input. And from where this input has come? Who can tell me?
Organizational requirement.
By TNA.
TNA
From
only.
TNA?
Yes.
From the TNA, the what output has come? I had told you
What
this is the yeah,
Input.
this.
You asked about the input, ma'am.
So from where this input came, I asked you. The input of this phase will be the output of the development phase.
Okay, yes.
Because
Yes.
AD model beauty, that's what I told you.
Hmm.
Each step provide you the output of each step becomes the input for the next step. So when we talk about the implementation phase, so this is the, because AD is the 5-stage model. Okay. So first step is TNA, which output is the learning objective, training objective. Then from the training objective, the second stage is training designing.
Design.
And the designing output is the training plan, the
Yep.
instructional plan.
Development.
Yeah, that is the output of the training designing phase actually. And that becomes the input of the implementation phase actually. So if these in the instruction plan and the training plan and the training budget, as I told you, we'll be discussing in length into the next session actually. So that will be not touching. But then when we talk about the input part actually, so what equipment, what facilities, what, so you can see it out this flow chart actually. Okay, input, what input is required for managing the implementation of training process actually. Okay, so what first we'll be talking about the input, then we'll be coming to the process, and then we'll be talking about the output. Output, you know, the implementation phase output will be the evaluation of the training, benefit of the training. Then we are conducting the ROI. Yeah,
ROI.
return on investment we are calculating, cost benefit analysis we are doing, and then we are linking the training with the organization success. This is the output part, evaluation part. Okay, so when we're talking about the input part, so as you have told, input of implementation phases and output of development phase. Yes. Okay, so facilities, what facilities, these are the inputs, what facilities, the rooms, the room layout, what materials will be requiring, the trainer guide, other materials, facilitator material, what equipment, video, VCR, LCD, overhead projector, and etc. So fooding, lodging, the personal arrangement, traveling, then the local traveling agent, social events, recreation. These are the input which is required to manage the training. So logistical arrangement as well as the physical arrangements. Okay, physical arrangements includes the arrangement of the venue, then room layout, whether the type of a training program we are going to conduct. Actually, this is the phase of the implementation of the training. So whatever training we are going to conduct, whatever the focused activities we are going to carry out during the training actually, so what should be the room layout? It should be the U shape, it should be the V shape, it should be the conference table. Getting it out? So these are the things we are deciding it out. It looks, the logistical and the physical arrangement at the input side, it looks very insignificant, but trust me, if you're not properly managing these inputs, these arrangements, you're not doing it properly, it is significantly affecting the feedback of the training as well as the trainers. Okay, so if in case of there, if there will be the room will not be the proper, if there's the focused activities will not be the proper, actually if the arrangements will not be the proper, where there will be the fooding, lodging will not be the proper, the traveling is not a proper, where the venue we have chosen is not accessible well, then it is definitely going to affect your training program in a very significant manner. Okay, it is going to affect the feedback of your training program, and it is going to affect the feedback of the trainers as well. Okay, so you cannot find it out insignificant. Managing the implementation of the training process is very significant. You need to look after, do the proper arrangements actually. Okay, when then we'll be coming to the what the how the what is the process of the implementation of the training
Training program.
program. Yes, implementation of the training program, as I told you, is a very important phase where the training programs comes in life. So when we talk about the training phases, actually, in this process, actually, we the training implementation part, the two important stages we used to follow. Okay, so when we are implementing the training program effectively, then the two phases, two stages, namely is conducted. First is the dry run, which is known as the test run, which is the first of the first training, which is not conducted with the participants actually, as you can see it out. Okay, what is the dry run actually? So process of the training, as I had told you, implementation of training, the whatever the instructional strategy we have planned, that was planned in the implemented in this phase actually. The development phase, whatever instructional plan and instructional strategy we have developed, as per those instructional strategy, we implement the training program actually. And the output, as I told you, the output of development phase becomes the input of the implementation phase, and the output of this phase is become the input of the evaluation phase, and where we are assessing the utility of the training, the benefit of the training actually. So in this implementation process actually, what we are doing actually, we are conducting it into the two stages actually. The first stage is the dry run. What is the dry run actually? This is the first test of the new material actually, the content we have developed at the developing phase. So it is the test of that new material, and at this stage training package is not presented entirely. Okay, and this is not designed actually to train the participants. Dry run, you need to understand, okay, this is for the, we are running, this is the first test of the training materials which we have developed at the developing phase actually, and the entire training program is not presented at this level actually. The portion of the training program is presented to whom? To the, to whom? Anybody is having the idea of the dry run? To whom we are presenting the dry run or the test run of the training materials? As I said
Look,
you, yeah, tell me.
to the concerned authority, I mean, to the concerned people, how we
What
going
do
to
you
arrange
mean by
that
the
and
concerned people?
I mean, organization level, definitely the management and all that.
Really? Anybody else?
To the actually L&D department, ma'am, the people who have actually hired for the training purpose.
Yeah, little nearby. And who else? Anybody else can tell about the dry run? What is the dry run? This is the implementation phase, as I told you. Kiki, even the best training design comes to failure if you are not the properly, effectively managing the implementation phase and the delivering the training skillfully. It's a very, very important phase actually, because here the training program are coming in live. You're going conducting the training, you are delivering the training. So this is the most important. Whatever phases we have done, the all are they have the back office job. Getting it out till development phase, we used to say कि that was the behind the curtain. Those all works are behind the curtain. And implementation phase, we are coming out of the curtain. Okay, so
So this
back
is for
office job.
trainer especially,
Life.
especially
So this is for the yes potential trainers.
trainer.
They could during dry run. What is the motive you need to understand actually? During dry run, actually, some potential trainers are chosen. Okay, and the portion of the training program is delivered to them. And then we are taking the feedback from these trainers actually on the utility of the training. And during this test run, the participants are asked the list of questions actually about the relevance of the training program, about the exercises we have attached to it, about the case study, about the role play. And after that, training program is suitably modified or altered depending upon the feedback of those trainers. So as I said, dry run is never conducted for the participants. This is the testing run actually. So this is conducted with the potential trainers actually. And the portion of the entire training program is not presented to them. The part of it, the portion of it is presented to them, and then we are taking the feedback from that, and then accordingly we are modifying or altering the training program. So dry run refines the training program to eliminate any major glitches. Okay, before we are going to do the final round, final train launching of the final training program. So before that, this is the test run. So as we have read, this is the first test designed to determine the value and clarity of utility of training. Then feedback is necessary to alter the program as required. Then refine the training program. So dry run is done for the refining the training program and to avoiding any major glitches into the final training program. Then learner can achieve the desired objective. Okay, so this is the about the dry run. This is the first stage of the process of implementation of training, effective training. Okay, second, after the dry run, whatever we have modified, then the next stage is the pilot training. Okay, what is a pilot training? Pilot training is the full-fledged training program. Pilot program is the full blown training program that is presented to the trainees. This is for the participant. This is presented to the trainees or the participants. And the pilot training can do a lot of good, like the rough edges can be smoothened, the duration of the different sessions can be modified or rescheduled, the flow of the is rearranged, the weak areas are identified and strengthened, beside giving the valuable experience in the delivering the training program. So the pilot training takes time and resources, because you are seeing it, because these we are presenting to the participants actually. This is the full blown training program. This is the full fledgedly it is conducted. So and the purpose is rough areas can be smoothened, and it is provide the trainer with relevant training to assess the training, the timing and relevance of modules of the training and various training components actually. So what is advisable at this phase, because this is consuming your the time and the resources, and hence it is better to mentally visualize the program before dry run or pilot training is planned. So you need to decide whether you want to go for the pilot training or Not, because this is consuming your time, this is consuming the resources actually, because we are presenting the complete training program before before starting the full-fledgedly training program. So we are going for the dry run, and then this is the first full-fledged program which is given to the participants of pilot training. So this is the process for the implementation of any effective training program. Okay, first stage dry run, and the second stage we are conducting the pilot training. In fact, any question over here? Are you understanding the process of the implementation of training program?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear
Yes.
all?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. Yes.
so we have
Yes.
input, we have talked about input of the implementation phase is the output of the development phase, and what we require to manage the implementation of the training, what facilities, what equipment, what material. So all are the part of what the input. Trainer, who will be the trainer, all is decided over the as the input is required. These are the input which is required for conducting a smooth training program, and these are the process actually. And in the end, what we were talking about, because you have seen the third phase was the, we are showing, is the output phase. So evaluation, what is the evaluation phase? अब देखिए evaluation add is the last step in the AD model. Okay, so evaluation, when we take it, when we are putting this input, and when we are doing the processing, the implementation phase, when we're conducting the training, then after that we need to evaluate the training program. And evaluation of the training program is the, when we are deciding this phase, when we are deciding what should be the learning outcomes, at which phase, should be the output of the training after conducting, at which stage we are deciding.
After after the training program,
After the training
In the
program, we are deciding what are learning outcomes,
no.
what
In
takeaway.
the ADDIE model, man, we have to decide that A, D, D, I design one.
Yeah, AD model only we are talking about, but what I'm
Yes, ma'am.
asking, what we need to evaluate, what output we are expecting out of the training program after conducting.
as
So
per our objective, what is the actual status?
exactly,
Learning
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 objective.
objectives.
Learning objective.
At the stage of
Hmm.
training need assessment
Training.
at the first,
Yes,
at the
yes.
learning objective, we are deciding what we want to accomplish at the end of the training program. The
Training.
evaluation, the evaluation is the phase actually. Evaluation and analysis are the last step in the AD training model, and this gives trainer an opportunity to go back to the beginning and assess the results of the training cycle actually. So organizations are investing a lot of money into the training program, and that's why organization want to see a positive return of whatever they have spent. Okay, so as a result, training managers are increasingly being asked to justify their expenses and demonstrate how training investment increases the organization's bottom line. So the problem is that some benefits derived from the training program can be intangible and difficult to
No,
quantify.
yes, we
Okay,
cannot quantify because it is
yeah, this is the
intangible.
problem being trainers, being training professional, we used to face actually, because, and so consequently, what is happening, the gathering and compiling the information needed for an accurate benefit or cost analysis can be complicated task. So it is a complicated task. So what is the objective over here actually? We should not only look evaluation of the training from the
Tangible.
quantifiable. Yeah,
Yes,
we should go
quantifying.
for the intangible benefits
Intangible.
as well. In terms of, who can tell me? Intangible benefits in terms of how we can convince the management. Yes, so this training program has not gone sheer west. Whatever we have spent, there is a result.
Means in terms of the I mean that environment of the organization,
Culture.
Culture.
organizational culture.
Job,
Yes.
देखिए, first it will be providing you the job satisfaction, because the training provides the personal development opportunity to the employee,
Yes,
provide the
ma'am.
employee satisfaction.
Hmm.
Getting it out. So
Yes,
employee personal development, so it is providing you the job satisfaction, and once the employee will be satisfied, so what is happening? What is happening? Employee
The
efficiency
worker.
increases, the job performance improved, and then higher productivity.
Yeah.
Higher productivity, higher
Mm.
profitability, and these are the ultimate goal of any organizations. In fact, the intangible, when we talk about the intangible, to show the intangible benefits of the training to the organization, so we need to calculate, to show in terms of job satisfaction, in terms of rate of attrition,
Mm.
how, because the employee movement is so, because right now all companies are struggling because of the mobility of the employee. To
Mm.
control the rate of attrition and improve the rate of retention, it is
Mm.
improving the rate of retention actually, because employees are getting satisfaction actually, because the training is providing the personal development opportunity, growth opportunity to the employee. So it provide the employee satisfaction, and once the employee will be satisfied, so their job satisfaction, they're getting the job satisfaction actually, so they are retaining into the organization. So in these intangible terms, we can define the benefit of the training as well. So when we talk about the evaluation part, we are actually evaluating the training program at the 4 level by using which model? Very depth in the paper 1 I have discussed about the training evaluation. Which model we are using for evaluating the training program?
Kirk practice model.
Exactly, Kirkpatrick's model. So through the Kirkpatrick's model, we are evaluating the training at the 4 level. Okay, level 1 is the, who can tell me all the 4 levels? At the level 1, when we are conducting the training, after the conducting the training, what we are evaluating?
I
Level
think the
1?
level 1 is reaction.
Very true. Reaction is when it is conducted. When it is evaluated, the reaction?
Reaction, once the training is over, immediately
No.
after that.
Level 1 is always conducted during the training program.
Correct.
Level 2 is conducted after the completion of the training program, which is the learning evaluation.
Learning, right.
What they have learned out of the training program actually. So we are designing the test, we are conducting the test, performance test, the attitude test. So these are the criteria reference tests. So these are the tests which we are designing at the developing phase actually, and we are conducting the training process. That is the
Right.
training assessment process. Okay. So, and the third level, behavior, the transfer. Now, transfer of learning at this phase. Like whatever they have learned, how much they have transferred back to their job actually. Okay. And at the level 4 is the result
Results.
impact on the business. Okay. So at this 4 level, we are evaluating the any training program. So what is the learning objective at the evaluation phase actually? Okay, we are determining the benefit of the training program. We are evaluating the training program at the 4 level by the Kirkpatrick's model, and then we are calculating the return on investments. Okay, we are calculating the rate on investment, we are calculating the benefit cost ratio, and then at the end we are linking the training to the organization success. Okay, getting it out? So this is the complete process of the training. Okay, so once we have evaluated, so this is the evaluation and implementation. You can see it out. Battery is low. Why? Oh. So this is something good. Just a moment, give me, battery is getting low. Okay, so till here, any question? Are you understanding the total process of the training development
ma'am.
program? Yes, come out.
In my sense, means
Hmm.
whatever the or most of the behavioral trainings are
Hmm.
intangible. In
Hmm.
if we want to go for the ROA, because
Who can tell me behavioral, whether the employees are possessing the right attitude or right behavior or not? Is it an intangible part?
intangible part, ma'am.
Is it?
That I
No,
feel
it is not always intangible. It is tangible as well.
Exactly, because that is creating, if the juniors are not behaving properly with your seniors, is it an intangible part?
Then the training will go for a waste, and then senior or the think tank will ask, then what is the use of the training if it is not impacting the behavior?
That's why I told you the core values actually. At the values, we need to inculcate the right attitude and the right behavior into the employees actually, because that is reflecting in their day-to-day working. if he will not be possessing, so the behavior cannot be intangible. They can hiding inside something, but whenever they are speaking to someone, to say seniors, their peers, their subordinates, their behavior part will be reflecting what kind of whether they are possessing the right behavior or not, whether they are possessing the right attitude or not. And these are the problems actually. If the managers, if the bosses or the HOD is not possessing the right behavior, then their juniors will not be behaved properly. So whenever there is a cultural issue into the organization, then we are not addressing to the junior employees first. Whenever there is a cultural issue into the organization, to whom we are first addressing? Who can tell me? To whom we are first
Boss.
addressing if there is a cultural issue
Boss.
into your organization?
To the bosses.
To the top management.
Top management.
Because
Boss.
culture always flow from the top.
Top
In the
to bottom, yeah.
family. If the big
Top
parents,
down.
in the mother and father, we are not behaving properly, our children will never behave properly. So that is the same thing in the organization also. The organization family top management is the elders. If they are not behaving properly with the HOD, the HOD will not be behaving with their subordinates. The subordinates will not be behaving properly with their juniors. So this is the culture. Whenever there is a cultural issue, whenever the employees are not possessing the right attitude and the right behavior, then if you are addressing at the junior level first, the total waste. Because culture flow from the top, so you need to address to the top management first actually. So it's a not very much intangible. Getting it out? Behavioral
Right.
part is very much tangible. You can see and you can see the gesture by the body language, with the attitude. So anybody can make you feel how it is he or she is feeling about you, what is going inside. So somebody can hide it up with a very subjective term actually to discuss about it out. People are very clever these days to hide their emotions, but the behavior they cannot hide. They need to behave. Getting it out?
Correct.
Okay. Any other question? Till
No,
here?
just one more perspective would like to bring to the table. This behavioral aspect becomes much more important in sales organizations, wherein sales people are supposed to, exude a kind of defined behavior with respect to their customers and end users. For example, in sales, a sales officer is also interacting with external parties like the distributor or the dealers. And apart from his peer group. So there also
one
it
thing,
plays a
I'll
very
be
significant
interrupting you
role.
here because the time is short, but I'll be making you understand that whenever we are designing the training, our first focus in the designing the training is on the two departments. So in the bigger canvas, I'll be making you understand this thing actually in the production and the sales and marketing. Why? Because these are the people. Sales is the department who is representing the company in market. Okay, if they will not be behaving properly with the client of the company, the customer of the company, then company is going to lose the business. And that's why I asked you, when you're doing the training need analysis, you're taking the feedback from the clientele and the customer also.
Yes.
Okay, and then we are deciding the sales training over there. If the personals who are going and representing the company and the market, they are not proper. If they're not behaving properly with the clientele and the customer of the company, then we need to design the training program, behavioral training for them. Okay, getting it out? Secondly, production. Why I said the two department actually? Because these are the two department which are bringing the money to the organization. So first focus always is on this two department training, and then the rest of the departmental we need to prioritize actually.
Very much,
Getting it
because
out?
the revenue comes from
Exactly. They are the beginning. The production is the department who is making that product. Okay, on to whom the sales department is selling it out. So they are the department who are bringing the money actually, who are directly going to contribute to the growth of the organization. Okay, to the growth of the organization. And that's why when we are prioritizing, to these two departments are the first list when we are designing the training. So it's going to be 5:30 actually. The one topic only is left right now is the training policy. So till here, so you have understood what is the managing the total process of the training and development, managing how important is the managing part, and then paper 8 is about the managing the implementation of the training program, which is the fourth step of the AD model. Okay, Now the training policy I was talking about, okay, because the training policy, what is the training policy? Why we are designing the training policy? So you can see it out because I have done it. So without seeing it out, who can tell me? First, you tell me what do you mean by the policy and why the policies are meant?
Guidelines of the company or the I mean
To make the decision making easy for each level, actually. The policies are made.
policies are the rules and set of
Right.
rules
Yeah, right.
I mean, of the company, that in which certain behavior, certain set of things which are to be
Very rightly said. The policy means the system or law and order or the
Yes.
guided principles. Okay, these are the actually a policy is a deliberate system of principles to guide decisions and achieve a rational outcomes. Okay, so when we are talking about the training, why the policies are meant? Policies are actually meant for the benefit of the employees. Through the policy, benefit of the employees, and if any policies are not working, we need to change that policy actually. So when we are talking about the training policy actually, so training policy is meant to provide the information to the, now I'll be coming, you can see it out. Okay, they're the four main objective of the training policy actually. First, to define the relationship between the organization's objective and its commitment to training functions. Through the training policy, we are taking the commitment of top management as well as the employee. We are taking the commitment of top management towards the employee development. Okay, we are taking the commitment, we are showing the top management intentions through the training policy. What that they are feeling like a employee development ke liye, what the companies are doing it out. So first is to define the relationship between the organization objective and its commitment to training functions. What the commitment of the top management is towards the personal development of the employee actually towards the training functions. Second is to provide operational guidelines, to provide the operational guidelines and responsibilities to the management. Getting it out, because they get to provide operational guideline and responsibility of the management for what? For planning and implementation of the training. Actually, it provides the proper guideline. Resources, I'll show you the sample of the training policy actually, okay, how it is providing the guideline, what we are putting it out, in fact. So far as to ensure that the training resources are directly in achieving the critical success factor and priorities of the organization actually. Next objective is to provide the information to the employees. What information? Through the training policy, what information we need to provide to the employees actually? So about the scope of the training into the company, what is the aims of the company, what are the objectives, the scope, aims, objective, and the training delivery methodology, and then types of training, the level of the training, which level of the training will be provided at the technological level, at the managerial level, at which level, what kind of training will be actually provided. Okay, so these are the information which is furnishing, we are furnishing to the employees through the training policy actually. Okay, and the fourth objective is to enhance the public relation and incorporate image of the organizations. Okay, so because what is happening, the training policy is, when we are developing at the corporate level, may contain general statements and aim at influencing the outside world in creating the image of the corporate image. But when we are developing the training policy at the department level, it states the line manager's action plan by specifying. So the training policy at the department level states the line manager's action plan by specifying the nature of the training, the duration of the training, the venue of the training, or for whom it is meant, and who will be responsible for its implementation. So it is at this level, when we are designing the training program at the department level, it is at this level the training policy plays a vital role in linking the training objective with the organization objective, and which is so very important to unify the employees and the organization into one common goal. It is so very important to align the organization objective along with the individual objective. Okay, and then only the training program will be what? Effective and successful.
Successful.
And yeah, at the evaluation stage, you need to be answerable being training professional. You need to show the organization to link the training with the organization success, how the organization training is contributing to the growth of the organizations actually. So training policy, that's why it is meant. We are taking the what is the content factors influencing the training policy. So factors influencing the training policy, you can see it out. Vision and mission of the company, aims and strategic objectives of the company, size, tradition, and the prevailing culture of the company. It influences the training policy. Size, how come the size is affecting? Somebody can tell me? Training policy?
Size of the company, earlier you said, na, ma'am, that the smaller size of the company or the bigger size of the company. So
They are not
according-
investing. They are investing less into the training program.
Training.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so smaller companies are not going actually, because that's why it is said कि when I used to guide to my HR student actually, if you are picking the training department job, so you'll be going into the multinational, into the bigger corporates, in fact, because only the bigger company, the professional company, and the multinationals are spending the money on training. The smaller company are struggling in giving the salary. How they will be spending the money on the training? So size is affecting and influencing the training policy actually. Okay, because as I showed you that the training policy refers to the company's learning and development programs and activities. What development programs and the activities company is going to do to conduct for the employee development actually. Okay, then the next is the products services of the company. That is very much apparent. Product of the company, what is the product of the company? So we need to, it is definitely going to affect the training and the training policy, because as per the product develop and as per the services of the company, we are designing the training, product training, service training. Okay, then the level of technological upgradation, then obligation to provide the continuous training. These are the factors which are influencing the training policy. Any confusion till here? Because the time is running short, so I'm moving fast. Any confusion into this?
No, ma'am.
No, it's-
Then I'll be showing you the contents of the training policy. What are the contents of the training policy?
Ma'am,
The-
if you can explain that continuous, that last stage.
Acha, okay. Obligation to provide the continuous training. Who can tell me how this
Ma'am,
factor is influencing training policy?
yes, ma'am. Actually, what I was thinking is that the continuous training is required. Why? Because once the training has been given to that any employee, whether that training has been really means that evaluation part has been done or not, and again, suppose some technical training is given, and whether they remember the same things, the same training, whatever it was given or not. For that, if the continuous training is given, then they will not forget any of the steps.
Obligation,
And
or whose obligation? On whom part this is obligatory?
this is the organization's obligatory.
Top management.
Top management, yes, ma'am.
Because yes, that's why I said if the top management is not supportive, we cannot conduct the training actually. So how it is affecting actually, if the top management is not committed towards the continuous training, it is definitely going to affect the training policy, the training of the company. So that's why I said when we are developing the training policy, actually we are taking the commitment of the top management as well as the employees, top management towards the employees development. So these are because these policies are obligatory on the part of top management. If the top management is not allowing us, how will be investing the money and conducting the training program actually? So getting it out. So obligation is on the part of the top management of the company, and that's why to provide the continuous training, and the professional companies are going, there's an ongoing training program. Because I told you because when we are doing, I don't know who is from the HR, so when we are doing the manpower planning, that time only at the first stage in the organizations, when we are developing the blueprint of the manpower planning, then we are designing the training as per the ongoing current development programs, as per the expansion program of the company, as per the diversification plan of the company actually. So these are obligatory on the part of the top management. It is definitely affects the training program. If the top management will not give you the commitment, we cannot conduct the training program for the development of employees. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Contents. So underline the belief of the organization about what? What should be the content? About the value of the training.
Foundation.
So yeah, about the value of the training
Training.
actually. Okay. Then second is the content is the type of training to be provided, whether it will be job related, career related, or general program, whether it will be on the job, off the job, or the CBT, or the blended training. And right now into the pandemic time, we are going for the e-learning.
Right.
Okay, so employees are looking for the such training which is 24/7 accessible anytime from anywhere. Getting it out? Then
Yes.
third content is who will be the target audience. That is very much important. Which who in the which category of the employee will be getting the which training. That is the at the individual level we are deciding it out. When we are doing the training need analysis, then we are deciding it out. The group of employees or which employees on which topic they will be getting the training actually. So this is the training policy. This is very important actually to decide which employee will be getting the which training act. Okay, then the extents of financial resources allocated. So training budget is very important part. Okay, what a training, and this training budget I will not discuss over here because the next session the training budget and the training plan will be discussing in elaborate manner actually. Okay, then we'll be coming to the advantages of the training policy. So training policies, what is the advantage of the training policy? First, the training policy aims to clarify the purpose of training and to communicate to the top management intentions. I have already told you the training policies we are developing to show the communicate the top management intentions to the employees. Okay, towards the employee development, towards the employees growth, towards the personal development of the employees. Okay, what is the intention of the management through the training policy that we are communicating to the employees. Second advantages, the training policy defines the organization's responsibility for the development of individual employee. So that's I have already told you. Okay, this is the individual employee we are communicating through it out. Okay, what is the intentions of the management towards the employee development. Okay, the third is the it helps the management responsible for implementing the training, clarifying their roles and functions. So training policy is helping the management responsible for implementing the training. Who is the roles and responsibility is clarifying into who is responsible for implementing the training and who is responsible for taking the training. Okay, so the clear cut roles is defined when we are developing the training process actually. Okay, then the next is progressive training policy enhances the employee and employee relationship. It is as I have already discussed about it. The progressive training policy, because why the training is conducted, training is providing the personal development opportunity, the growth opportunity. It enhances, it sharpens the skill, knowledge, and the attitude and ability of the employees. So employees are getting satisfied, they are getting the job satisfaction. So it is definitely improving the relationship with the employer. So employee-employer relationship improves by progressive training policy. Okay. And then the last advantage, the training policy states in general terms the training opportunities to enhance their knowledge and skill and appropriate to prepare them to take up new responsibilities. So when we are developing the training policies, then we are mentioning which type of training, whether it will be technical skill, managerial skill, soft skill, professional certification, individual training program, or the corporate training program, or other types of the training program. So general guidelines for it. So everything is mentioned into the training policy. We try to mention it out. The scope, aims, objective, and the employer, the line manager's responsibility, then procedure for what will be the procedure of evaluation and what type of the training will be provided to them actually. So it is preparing the employees for taking the new responsibility and the challenge. It is preparing them through the training. We are always already upgrading the employees performances, their competency level. Okay, so these are the advantages of the training policy. and I'll be showing you, I'm showing you the sample of the training policy. So you can see this is the Soils Limited training. Can you see it out? So what are the things? You can see it as Soils Limited is the company, training and development policy and the procedures. This is the one sample of the training policy. How the companies are making the training policy for taking the employment and providing the information to the employees. So policy is written previously. The Soils Limited is committed to excellence in staff development. What I had defined through the training policy, the intentions of management towards the staff employee development is communicated to the employee. So that is mentioned first, and then the scope. What is the scope of the training in the company? Then application and update of the training, then objective of the training, then aims of the training. And the in other you can mention, you can in the second one you can see the employee responsibility is also written into the training policy actually. So it depends upon you how elaborate training policy you need to develop. Okay, so everything you can mention it out to give the clarity to the. So whenever we are hiring the new employees also, so we are giving, because these days the if you want to hire the right talent, if we want to hire the quality personnel, then they are definitely looking at which companies are providing the training, which companies culture is good, and whichever they are providing the training or not, because the training is making them exceeding their performances, and they are taking the upgradation through the training program. So this is the till here we'll be discussing, and this is the end of the today's session actually. Till here, if you want to ask anything, you can ask. Are you understanding what I'm teaching? First is the question is that.
Wonderful teaching, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
All
yes,
of-
tremendous effort you have provided. So thank you so much. Just one question, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
In that training need analysis part, can you please once again tell me the formula with respect to
Smart training learning objective you are saying, or training in need analysis? Training need analysis, what you are asking?
in the
Formula,
need
job analysis formula. Job analysis
Yes,
formula I
yes,
had told
the
you.
job description minus
JD minus JS, that is job description minus job specification.
JD minus JS. Okay.
Yes. JD stand for job description. We are describing the job, task, or duties, or roles and
Nice, sir.
responsibility.
After a long time.
And the job specification.
Right. Equal to?
Yeah. Okay.
Fine, fine, fine. Okay.
Okay. So anything else?
No, thank you so much. It was a wonderful class.
Thank you.
You can come.
Thank you. So
Thank you,
next
ma'am. Thank you.
session is going to be in the
Same
4th
location,
April.
you can come. So you are starting now.
Raj,
Hello?
can you go mute?
Okay. So you kindly start after 15. Okay.
Okay, somebody else.
Okay.
Hello,
So
somebody-
by 6:30.
Okay, then thank you. Then
6:30 if you can
I'm
come.
winding up.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Yes, bye, bye.
Hardly it will
Bye-bye.
take say half an hour or what.
Hello, I will just take
So that will be
5 minutes
Okay.
of yours,
Thank you.
gentlemen. I'll
Yes,
just take,
over to you, Varmaji.
thank you very much, madam. Gentlemen, I have just uploaded the feedback form, and I request all of you to kindly fill the form and upload it back or send me through WhatsApp. Right?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Have
We'll
you
do
seen
that.
the form?
No, sir, we
And-
haven't seen.
And,
In the chat box.
and
Okay, I'll
2-3 people, I think if they can tell me the detail. Rajkumar Nandi,
Yes, sir. I am from Hyderabad chapter. So we don't
Hyderabad
have,
chapter. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This
Uh,
Abhijit Roy,
I'm from Kolkata.
you are also from Kolkata. MDCS Menon from Kolkata. Okay. Amruta Khotke,
Mumbai chapter. If you-
Mumbai.
Mumbai chapter, yeah.
Okay. And if you want, your attendance also should be along with your registration number, should be sent to ISTD. Please give your registration number so that I can send the attendance list
Yes,
to
sir.
ISTD office.
26492. Rajkumar Nandi.
Amruta Khotke,
No, Rajkumar Nandi, sir.
Rajkumar Nandi.
26492.
26492. Okay.
Yeah.
And have you received the feedback form?
So I haven't seen, sir.
It
We'll
is in
see.
chat box. Just
Okay.
go in the previous chat. You
Mm.
will find it there, and kindly upload it and just fill it. It will take 2-3 minutes, not much. And then either you can send me through email or just take the picture and send me through WhatsApp.
Okay,
Sir,
sir.
Yes,
sir,
yes.
Can you resend that link, sir?
It is in chat box. The file is loaded.
Yes, sir. Because of the network issues, we got reconnected, so it is not showing. Can you please resend it again?
Right. I will just
Sure, sir.
send. I will just connect again for you all. Just wait. Yes, I have just loaded feedback form. You can either open on your computer or desktop, wherever you are, and just fill it and attach again or send it back to my email ID or WhatsApp. Right?
Yes, yes, we have got it.
sir,
Yes,
how
got
we
it?
how we give ratings? 1 to 5, 1 to 10. How?
Just 1 to 5. 1 to 5,
Sir, it is not in the chat.
from bad to good or excellent.
One to 5. Okay.
1 to 5, just give 1 to 5.
Okay, sir.
Has anybody sent through chat also? You can again fill it and load in chat.
Sir, please send in the chat box. Just
Right.
now.
You have attached? Devyajani Bhattacharya, is she there? No. Siladitya Chaudhary.
Yes, I'm from Kolkata.
You are also from Kolkata. Okay.
I've already posted my registration number. It's
Details.
26586.
Right. I will check it. Whoever has given in chat box, their details are available even after I complete and disclose the sessions. So that is okay. If you have
Yes, sir.
given, it will be noted and sent back to ISTD headquarters. Okay, shall I close? I hope you all have sent the feedback form, and kindly send through
Right,
email
sir.
or
Thank
WhatsApp
you.
also, in case if you are not able
I have
to.
also shared the in the chat. Yeah, we
Yes.
can.